Hey everyone, today we're starting a brand new segment on our channel where we talk to our subscribers that have gone on cruises and we get their candid feedback so that you don't always have to hear it from us. You can hear it from other people that actually go on the cruise lines and have fun on these amazing cruise ships. You could hear a different perspective and point of view. So today we are going to get into it. First up, we are going to talk to our friend Tom Murphy. Tom and his wife Sharon went on the MSC Seascape in March of 2024, and they stayed in the Yacht Club. So today we're going to talk to Tom and find out his experience on the MSC Seascape. Let's go. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Today we are talking to Tom Murphy. We're going to be going through his experience with his wife on the MSC Seascape in March. So Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself. How many cruises have you been on since you started this?
Sure. So Sharon and I are just a little background on us. We're both recently being within the last 8 or 9 years, both recently retired. Uh, our first cruise, believe it or not, was on a Carnival ship, the Carnival Elation, back in 2003, where we decided to do a cruise out of Galveston to celebrate our 20th anniversary. Little bit different. We did I like to refer to it as a closet. It's inside, small inside cabin. Uh, but we really enjoyed the cruising lifestyle. But uh, life and work and everything else got in the way, and we really didn't do another cruise until last October, when we celebrated our 40th anniversary on a cruise, and we did the NCL Bliss out of Seattle up to Alaska on a back to back, and enjoyed the ship within a ship concept. Norwegian calls it the Haven, and that really kind of made us really enjoy cruising even that much more. So after doing that cruise, we looked around and talked with John and a few other people, and decided to give MSC, and specifically the MSC Yacht Club, a try. And it was very enjoyable, a very nice cruise, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Awesome. So let's start by talking about embarkation. So you get, first of all, what port did you go out of?
We went out of Miami. We did a 7-day cruise out of Miami. It was they called it a Caribbean. I don't remember if they specifically called it an Eastern or a Western. We went out of Miami. We hit Cozumel, Grand Caymans, Montego Bay, Jamaica, of course MSC Ocean Cay right before it closed,
Yep.
and then back into Miami.
All right. So let's start with you getting to the port. You get there and you begin the embarkation process. Tell me about the process when you get to the terminal. How did that work?
Being Yacht Club, a little bit different than normal embarkation there in Miami. The Yacht Club for MSC has a special check-in area. We weren't very far. We stayed in the Brickell area in Miami, so we caught an Uber from the hotel, and it took us about 10 minutes to get to the ship, which was kind of nice. Uh, we got out of the Uber. He took us a little further than what we needed to be, but we walked back through the crowds of all of the unhappy people getting off the prior cruise, and dropped our bags off at the Yacht Club tent. It took maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do that, and they walked us into the Yacht Club / priority boarding terminal. Unfortunately, we got there real early. We got there about 9:15. Security wasn't ready to let people on, so we had a couple of lines, one for priority embarkation, one for Yacht Club folks. We stood in line maybe 10, 15 minutes, got to meet a couple of other people that I had interacted with either on Facebook or some of the other forums that were on the same cruise, and chatted, and found out a little bit more about the ship because they had been on it multiple times. Uh, once they opened the security lines, it took about 2 minutes to get through the security line, and they take you into a little area. It's got some snacks and some drinks, and they look at all your documentation, give you your wristband and your key card, and uh, take you into the embarkation hall. Again, the ship was not ready to receive new passengers, so we sat there. First experience with the butlers. They came by with champagne, uh, provided some snacks. Had soft drinks, whatever. I think we were probably in there about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they opened up the ship, and not the first on board, but I think we were the second ones on board once they opened up the ship for embarkation.
So once you get on the ship, everything's good. The butlers get you on the ship. Everything's easy breezy. What are your first impressions about the ship at that point?
Well, of course, MSC ships, right? Stainless steel, mirrors, glass, bright, shiny. Right? All you can do is when you get on there, you just kind of look around and 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 say, "Wow, it's a beautiful ship." I mean, there's no way to describe it other than a beautiful ship. Uh, we've each line, that we've had experience with, Carnival, Norwegian, they all kind of decorate their ships in a certain way. You know, this is again bright, shiny, really clean, spacious. When you come into the main hall there, it's very spacious. Wow. I mean, that's the only thing you can say is wow. The butler, of course, wants to escort you up to the yacht club. Of course, he's got other things to do. He wants to get back down and get the next group, so you don't really have a chance to walk and look through and see a lot of things. One of the nice things that uh, they do for the yacht club members, or at least on our cruise, and I think listening to some other people, they're starting to do it a little bit more. Is we get to go through and we stop at the muster station location. Scan our cards. We still have to watch the video. We still have to make the phone call, but at least we don't have to do the traipse down with 5,000 other people down the stairs to the embarkation station. And I've heard that they're starting to do that a little bit more on some of the other ships as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if anybody's not familiar with the MSC muster process, it's a little strange when you get on the ship. A lot of the other cruise lines, like Norwegian and Royal and Carnival, when you get on the ship, you basically go directly to your muster station. They scan your card. Some of the cruise lines will do a quick, like 1 minute, like 7 short beeps, 1 long beep. They'll let you know to come back here if there's an emergency. But otherwise, they scan your cards and you're done at that point. With MSC, you have to go to your room at a specific time. It's usually around 1 o'clock. They start playing the video for everyone on the ship. As soon as the video is done, you have to call a number from your cabin. It'll ask you if you've watched the video. It'll mark that you've watched it, and then they will call maybe like 5 or 6 decks at a time. They'll call those people down to go to the muster stations, and it just creates a lot of havoc. So when you're in the yacht club at this point, they are starting to let you do that ahead of time, and then you just have to call, which is great. So, all right, let's talk about, since you were in the yacht club, let's talk about the service you experienced over your cruise. You could talk about the butler, you could talk about just your room steward, whoever you want to talk about. Let us know what you thought about the service.
The yacht club, for Sharon and I, we enjoy cruising. For us, it's not necessarily the destination. It's more getting there. Of course, we're a little bit older. We don't necessarily like being with a lot of other people. We don't like the crowds. We don't have to like elbowing our way through people and everything else. So, the yacht club gave us the opportunity to be in with a smaller group. one of the benefits about that is you get to meet a lot more people, and you know, you I hate to say that you get to meet a lot more people, but you get to make uh, relationships with a lot more people because it is a smaller group. You're always seeing the same, 200 or 300 people every day. Uh, service. I mean, it's not quite. I I watch some of the MSC commercials on YouTube or whatever, and they show somebody picking up one couple, and they always have a pool to themselves and the dining room to themselves and the bar to themselves and all of that. It's not quite like that, but again, the dining room, you have your own restaurant, wonderful food. Uh, Very seldom have to wait if you want to go eat. Uh, we have our own bar area. Again, that's where you get a chance to talk and meet people and find out their experiences, from wherever they're from. Uh, a lot of different benefits for that. Butlers, but the butler service on MSC was great. If we needed something, all we had to do was call our butler, and they would do it. If we wanted to go somewhere, they would escort us. Uh, if we wanted, even though we didn't personally go down to one of the theater shows, if we wanted to, they would escort us down there. Uh, we spent most of our week either on deck 20, which is the private pool deck for the yacht club. We like to just sit and look at the ocean and relax and kind of clear our minds and
Yep.
take advantage of personal service. And that was one of the wonderful things. A good example of having your butler or having people that you deal with every day. They learn what you like, whether it's how you like your coffee, or how you like your drinks, or if you want sparkling water or still water that they call it, with your meal or whatever. They learn those things, so you don't have to always ask for those things. It just kind of magically appears. Every morning, we would get up, we would go out to up to deck 20. We had a table that we considered ours. It wasn't our table, but that was a table we always sat at because we were one of the early risers. After the first day, after we told them how we liked our coffee, I like my coffee black in a big cup, and Sharon likes iced coffee. And every day we would walk up, they'd say, "Hi, Mr. Tom, Miss Sharon," go, and 2 minutes later, our coffee would be in front of us. And one of the interesting things is one morning the person that usually brought us our coffee was off doing other things. Somebody else made the coffee. He came around the corner and looked at Sharon's iced coffee and said, "Sharon, that's not right. I'll be right back," and brought her a different iced coffee, and it was exactly how she wanted it. So, those are the relationships that you build not only with other cruisers but with the staff.
Yeah, it's great. Also, just so everyone knows, when you're in the yacht club, you do have your own restaurant, your own lounge where you have a bar. You do have your own buffet, which is up on the pool deck. So you really kind of, as Tom mentioned, you don't need to leave the yacht club unless there's something specific you would really like to do around the ship. If you wanted to go to a show or try specialty dining or something like that. But there's no occasion where you need to go to the regular buffet or to the main dining room or anything like that. Um,
Talking about the buffet up on deck 20, and everybody thinks buffet. And yes, they had their daily, every day, we ate breakfast up on deck 20. They eggs to order, they had muffins, they had pancakes, they had waffles, they had, just about anything. Being kind of an international clientele, we had a lot of people not from the United States,
yeah.
so they had other things that were more European on their breakfast. I'm a bacon and eggs kind of guy. So we ate breakfast there. every day. We ate lunch every day on the, up on the pool deck.
Yep.
And they say buffet, but it's an elevated buffet. You know, one day we had beef tenderloin. We had roast turkey. We had a suckling pig up there one day for lunch. I mean, you can get hot dogs and hamburgers. You can get fries. You can get all those things, or you can.
Do you want to tell your story about your final night dinner, your request that you made?
Sure. Uh, so one of the things that Sharon and I have never had, we just never gone to a restaurant that served it, was beef Wellington. So early in the cruise, uh, we asked the maitre d if it would be possible for the chef to prepare a beef Wellington, one night for us. We found out later that another couple had also requested the same thing, uh, and they came back and said that Friday night, they would prepare a beef Wellington. To be honest, it was probably the most single best tasting meal we have ever had in our entire lives. And one of the funny things about it was, you know, after we got ours and enjoyed it, the maitre d and the head waiter thanked us for ordering it because they got to have it as well. The leftover, not our leftovers, but
Yeah,
when they made the beef Wellington, they made a full beef Wellington, so
sure.
they got to enjoy the special meal as well. So, but it was totally truly fantastic. And again, it didn't cost any extra. We just had to ask for it. And that was one of the nice things. That is one of the nice things about Yacht Club is they will go out of their way to get you what you want if it is within their means.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that I always try to bring up to people when they're doing some type of a suite experience. And I'm terrible at it myself because you sometimes you just don't want to ask for things. But one of the things when you're in that type of suite experience, and let's be honest, a lot of people are paying a lot of money for it, it never hurts to ask for to have an experience or to have something different to eat or to try something different, because what I find is like 99% of the time they're usually able to accommodate those requests and they actually enjoy doing something different than they normally would do. So it does work out to your benefit if you just ask sometimes within reason to
Yeah,
be.
within reason.
Yeah,
So and the meals, every night at the restaurant, there was a different theme. So, and I want to say dress theme, but a meal theme.
yep,
There are things that you can get every night. You can get a steak every night. You can get fish every night. You can get, things that, but things like escargot is not something that people eat, often. I wouldn't think. Of
sure.
course, every cruise that we've been on that offers escargot, I'll give it a try. It's but there's always something different. You know, I I know we're talking about MSC. One of the things, you know, with the Haven experience is they have the same menu, for the entire week, every night. Yes, they have 7 or 8 things on it, but if you don't eat 3 or 4 of those things, then you know you have to either go to specialty dining to get something else or you repeat. And on that was not the case on MSC. There was something different every day at the pool buffet. And again, the buffet up on deck 20 serves breakfast and lunch. They're not open for dinner, but every night at the
Yep.
restaurant there was something different that you could eat, and that was kind of nice. It gives you an opportunity to eat some of those things that you don't normally.
So let's talk a little bit about. I know you didn't go. I don't think you went to any of the shows, right? But did you experience any of the entertainment on the ship, like in the lounge there or anything?
Yeah, so the top sail lounge, it they do have, they have a bar. They also have seating for, that probably would fit 200 people. So they have a lot of little tables. You can sit 2, you can sit 10. So and every night in the top sail lounge, about the same time as dinner starts, they do have entertainment. Uh, Most of the time, it's one person either playing the guitar and singing. We had somebody that played the saxophone. So we, you know, I thought, you know, that it was going to be one of those every night. Somebody's going to you're going to have a four-string quartet and all of that. The entertainment was great, and that's one of the reasons why we probably didn't go to any of the other shows, is because there were a couple of entertainers that we really enjoyed. We had an entertainer named Chris. He was from South Africa, played the guitar and sang. He sang everything from the '50s, to current. Did a lot of '70s rock, which is kind of our vibe. He did some country, and every night when he was there, if you didn't get to the top sale lounge in time, you might not get a seat. I mean, that's how well received he was. Uh, the other nights, the other entertainers still had a good crowd, and it was enjoyable. You could listen to the music. You could get off into a corner and talk to other people if you wanted to, and you weren't really into the music. So it was kind of nice. Uh, One of the interesting things or enjoyable things is we had a family from Canada that had some very talented teenagers, piano wise. And one night before Chris got there, they got on the piano and they were more classical music, but they did some classical music on the piano that's there in the lounge. And then when Chris came in, Chris actually heard them and actually got them to play with him for a couple of songs. So, it was just a nice touch and made the kids feel like they were part of the overall enjoyment of the ship.
Yeah, that's great. That's so nice to be able to get that. And it's nice that I think one of the things people worry about with the ship within a ship is, are they going to get bored up there? Are they going to wind up down in, I always say it's like Gen Pop down there with the rest of the people, or is there enough to do? And I find that there's a ton of things to do. And if you did want to leave for the shows, the butler will take you down to the shows. So, especially with MSC in particular, they do have the entertainment every night, which I think is a big thumbs up for them as well.
Oh, I was gonna say, and one night we had the deck party,
Yep.
so all of the crew, all of the yacht club crew, from the yacht club director, the head of the butlers, uh, the bartenders, the lounge butlers. We all went up to deck 20. They had a DJ. We danced. We did the of course did the old conga line for, it seemed like
Yep.
45 minutes, but it wasn't that long, but it seemed like it
Yep.
at times. And you know it gives the passengers, the guests, an opportunity to do something different and have fun. Not only the guests a chance to do something a little bit different other than just sitting in the lounge, but it also allows the crew to enjoy an evening as well, instead of standing around and serving drinks and doing those things. They got to dance and show off some of their special talents and all of that. So it was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you said before with kind of when you're in that ship within a ship. The other great thing about it is you get to like build these nicer relationships than you would normally get to build in a ship with 5,000 people. It does feel like a smaller environment. And I think one of the reasons that MSC does that is so that you do start building relationships with some of those, like the manager of the butlers and the director of the yacht club, because then it's going to make you want to come back onto those ships again and have that same service again. So I think that's actually a great idea by them for those things.
Well, and that was, it's interesting because you see the butlers, and while they're doing their duty, they're all stiff. They're in their long coats and stiff and
Yep.
proper and all of that, and then they get out and have some fun. It was interesting that the head of butlers, when you saw her, she always looked stern I think she was from Ukraine,
Yeah,
uh, but she always had that stern look. When she got out there and started dancing, we found out, she was a classically trained ballerina.
unbelievable.
So it was just, you find those different things, so, and it's fun to see the ship officers
Yeah,
interact and have fun and not just be ship's officers. And
yep,
that's one of the things that really surprised us about the Seascape. And I don't know if it's like that on all MSC ships, but specifically the Seascape and that our cruising, you know, every day. I think our the yacht club director is Mustafa. I think he had to have a twin on board or maybe triplet. Two. Maybe it was one of three triplets because day in, day out,
yep,
sunrise to bedtime, he was there. He was talking to guests. He was interacting. Same thing for the you know, all of the ship's officers. I mean,
yep.
there was somebody there interacting every day. Captain Tuvo walked through, and talked to the guests, inspected his ship. You wouldn't think that the captain of the ship would, walk through and go, "Oh, there's a soda can sitting there." You pick up the soda can and
Yep.
take it and throw it in the garbage. You know, he was always visible, and I think because he's that way, his staff is that way, and the crew is that way. So I think he set the tone for how everyone on the ship is treated, and that was something that we've never seen on either on our other cruises is the interaction between the ship's officers and the guests that we saw on the Seascape.
That's great. That's really great to hear. I have two more I want to talk to you about. The first one is going to be, we're not going to do the whole itinerary because it's a pretty traditional itinerary, but what did you think of the MSC Private Island?
So Ocean K, was beautiful. It was it was probably the hottest day of our cruise. Uh, and of course, we might be a little slanted being from Montana. It only takes 85 degrees to be hot, or exceptionally hot. But it was very nice. You know, with the yacht club, you get taken down by the butler, kind of walk through the crowds. You know, you, you go to a special area, they pick you up on the golf carts, and they take you to, the yacht club portion of Ocean Cay. Even though we walked around some of the others, but they take you to the yacht club portion. We ran in, we made friends with another couple there on the ship that had rented a cabana for the day. So we joined them in their cabana. The one thing that I will say, and I hope they fix, I don't know if they did or they didn't, is the beach area at the yacht club side, got a lot of broken coral, got a lot of broken seashells. So you definitely want to make sure that you're wearing footwear, while you're there. Once you get in the water, it's great. Just the beach itself, and I don't think they can do a lot to remedy that because, of course, it is a marine reserve. So they're trying to preserve. They don't want to bring in a bunch of, extra sand and
Yeah,
mess that up. But you know, it's nice because the staff that you deal with on the ship is the same staff that you have, there on Ocean Cay. You know,
yep,
the yacht club does have their own little restaurant there, and they will, if you have a cabana or if you're out on the beach, you can either go there and get your food and find a table, or they'll bring the food to you. So of course, uh, one of the my favorite foods is lobster, and they have wonderful lobster rolls, uh, grilled octopus. I think Sharon had some crab ceviche. I mean, it was very nice food. It was enjoyable. Again, because the staff is the same staff that you deal with, they know what you drink, so they bring you your the drinks that they're used to bringing you.
yep.
Uh, we did walk around, to the other. I don't remember the name of the beach, but we did walk along some of the other beaches, and it's really a nice facility. I mean, I'm interested to go back and see. Of course, it was closed for I think 6 weeks in April and early May. Uh, for them to do some additional tweaks to the island and do some things for the staff that lives there. So I'm interested to see what they did and the changes that they made. Of course, the lighthouse show. We didn't stay overnight. We left, just about, when it was getting dark. But we actually enjoyed the lighthouse show from the restaurant. We actually were lucky enough. The table they gave us was right on the corner that was actually facing uh, the lighthouse. So we sat there and ate our dinner and watched the lighthouse show.
That's awesome. Yeah, the lighthouse show is great. I did stay overnight. I got to see that, and they did clean up the Yacht Club beach a little bit when they did the refurb. Most of that was to dredge for World America because World America is going to be there, which is much bigger. But they did add some additional food, like for regular guests. They added some food options, and they did clean up the Yacht Club beach. So that's a good point there. So my last thing I just want to talk to you about was disembarkation. How was it getting off of the ship using your yacht club? Did the butlers take you guys down and escort you off?
Sure. So, just like everyone else, they wanted us out of our rooms by 7 a.m. Uh, you know, we were able to go and have breakfast up on the pool deck, and then we went down and sat in the lounge and waited, and we actually had our opportunity to say what time we wanted to get off the ship. It had to be before 9:30. So I think we picked 9 o'clock just because we wanted some of the crowd to to get out and disperse. So we told the butler, we want to leave at about 9 o'clock, and about 8:30, she started saying, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And we said, "No, we want to wait till 9." And 9 o'clock, she came and found us at the lounge and escorted us down. Uh, used their special butler key for the elevator. So I think we got escorted down personally, by ourselves. uh, by that time, the I think the line had, for non yacht club passengers, that had kind of dwindled down a little bit. But I mean, we walked right to we were escorted right to the front of the line and had our key card scanned, and off we went. Of course, we still had to go down and find our luggage in the warehouse and all of that. But it was waiting until 9 o'clock. It was a lot less crowded, I think, than if we had gone off at 8 o'clock or 7:30 or anything else. So, while we still had to be off, at 9:30, it was is still a little bit nicer disembarkation than standing in line for an hour.
Yeah, it's one of the things that really confuses me about cruising is the last day that like there's such it's like a mad rush to get off of the ship. I never understand it. I get it if you have like an early flight or something like that, but the like fact that like 5,000 people are trying to get off the ship at like 6:30 in the morning, I don't it baffles my mind every time. I'm just like, I'll just wait. It's not that big of a deal.
So overall, you know, we really enjoyed the yacht club experience. I don't know anybody that gets off the yacht club experience that says they didn't enjoy the yacht club experience.
Yeah.
But well, yeah, there's been a couple.
There's always people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always people.
Yeah.
And again, we got to talk to people from Great Britain, and we got to talk to people from Germany, and we got to talk to people from South America and all over, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. And it's funny because invariably you start talking about things, and you find that the things that irritate you, in day to day life, it's the same thing in Great Britain, or it's the same
Yep.
thing in Germany, or it's the same, so it's funny that how similar people really are,
Yeah.
throughout the world. And that's, I think that's one of the things we liked about MSC, is because it is that international, more international than a lot of the U.S. cruises, and
Absolutely.
you get to interact with other people.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Yep. Awesome. Well, Tom, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this today. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you're going on another MSC cruise. So thank you again so much. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Thanks. I enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye bye.